Hello there and welcome to the Polymer Clay Design Masterclass with the fabulous Debbie Bulford. We will be bringing you the techniques and, of course, the ingredients to put together wonderful collar-style necklaces designed by Debbie Bulford, who will be talking you step by step. Let's talk to you about a wonderful kit that we've put together for you. You have the huge blocks of the white polymer clay and one of the black. You have 3 of your smaller blocks in the colours that are natural, the 18-karat gold colour and the ecru. You also have your gilding flakes in the copper and the silver. Debbie's going to show you exactly how to use these, so don't panic. You've got a strand of fabulous black obsidian 10mm rounds to incorporate along with your polymer clay, and of course the all-important polymer clay roller. That polymer clay roller is going to be invaluable in making sure that you can level out your clay properly, and it also helps to blend the designs and things as well. We're going to give you this wonderful kit for a fabulous price tag. The code that you need is right there on the screen, and as always, you can come and grab these in one of 2 ways. You can get yourself on the phone lines 0800 644 655, or you can shop online for this, all the w's.jewellerymaker.com, quoting the code SOGC65. So we are going to get working with Debbie, but don't forget you've got everything that you need in order to create some incredible, incredible polymer clay designs. If this is a technique that you've never perhaps used before, think about how getting as many different skills under your jewellery making belt will lead you into loads of different avenues, and you can of course put your polymer clay into lots of different designs, incorporate it with your wire work. We're going to give you an incredible price. Don't forget all of what you're getting in this kit for just £49.95. You can create so much with this. Now, Debbie, all of this Sculpey clay, look at the big blocks of Sculpey clay. Can we expect this to last a long time?
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. And it's not just a colour. The black and white can be used to take the tones up or down within your work. They are absolutely invaluable. And you always run out of black and white. It's perfect.
So you've got the great big blocks there as well. Now, last time I was doing polymer clay with you, you were saying how ecru is probably one of the most versatile colours to have. Why is that?
Because it takes the harshness of some of the really, really bright colours. If you mix it with orange, you'll get like a tangerine colour. You mix it with pink and you'll get almost a peach colour. It just takes the tone of the colours down. So you're talking about blending these rather than just using them side by side. We're actually using these to blend our own colours. Yes, definitely.
How fantastic is that? And then you've got that 18-karat gold, and it's got this amazing sparkle to it. And then we have got the natural there as well. How fab is that? Don't forget the gilding flakes, all for £49.95. Now we're going to go on over to Debbie and start to learn how to make those fabulous collar-style necklaces. I just can't wait to show you what Debbie's designed, because actually these are very elaborate, very big feature pieces that you can put into. What I'm thinking about is going and having a look in these craft fairs and seeing things like this, and just they've got the wow factor, Debbie, haven't they?
And I have to be honest with you that the original one here, which got my imagination, that I bought from the lady at the Polymer Clay weekend I went to last year, Irene Hoyles, you'll recognise this. This is her sort of design.
Okay.
This is definitely her, and from that we've built the other 2. Now these 2 I did this one for the NEC, and the reason that this is shiny and this is matte is that this has got gilding flakes on. Obviously you can't buff it if it's got the gilding flakes on, because you take the gilding off.
I see.
See what I mean? It's on the surface.
Yeah.
But I quite like that matte sort of look. And then the one at the end is made using everything that we've got within the kit.
So with the kit that we're giving to you today, £49.95, you can create.
You can create at least a dozen of those.
At least a dozen?
At least a dozen of those.
You're joking.
If not more.
Do you know what? These are real wow factor pieces. This is almost tribal, I think.
It is. It is very much so.
Isn't it beautiful? You've got to get this now. While stocks last, this offer is open to you at £49.95. Debbie's going to be showing you all these different techniques. But you know what, Debbie, to have all of this for under £50 is a great price
It's
tag.
incredible. I mean, this machine, this clay roller, I've had for ages and ages and ages, and it's been to every workshop and used and abused by all sorts of people, and they've been perfect. And once you've used one, you realise how useful it is.
So a good, solid, quality piece of kit.
Absolutely, something that will stay with you for ages. And I know we've said before, but the last one I bought was sort of £30, £40, and that was quite reasonable. So for this, it's good value.
Now, Debbie, where do we start with this kit?
Okay.
We want to design at home one of these amazing collar designs.
Right.
How do we start?
Okay. You can use your old scrap clay if you want to for the inside of the collar. And I mean your old scrap clay.
Inside of the collar, so you mean the reverse
There's layers
side?
and layers and layers in that. So I have got some really, really old scrap clay that is to a point now where it's got mucky brown. You know when you were little, you had the paintbrushes in a pot which went brown?
Yeah.
It's that sort of clay that when you get to a point where you think, I can't use that, that's the sort of clay you can use on the inside. You're lucky because you're going to get a white and black block, and you can use white and black inside if you want to.
You've got loads.
You've got loads. But I've used some scrap clay, and I'll show you what to do. Now, I bought these collars on Irene's recommendation from a very cheap shop, and I bought like 30 of them.
Okay.
You can still buy these on the high street, and in fact you can buy these like no tomorrow on a particular auction site.
Okay.
For like £2.
The famous auction site, I know what you mean.
£2, £1.50. These were 50p. These are so cheap, and you can get Peter Pan varieties with the different styles and designs. These can be the basis of your design, or if you haven't got one of those, don't panic, because you can just use a piece of cardboard. And all I've done is I've cut out a piece of cardboard to the same shape.
So this is your template?
This is your template. And I've covered it with foil. This is how I've made my brown one. And I covered it with foil. And then I put that onto...
boomerang.
It is.
Can we
put that onto a Pyrex dish. Now, I taped that with masking tape onto a Pyrex dish, and there you've got the shape.
Okay.
All right? So that's how I did the brown collar. But just to show you, you don't have to have these fancy metal collars.
Now, if you were using a metal collar, Debbie, are you using this just as a template? Are you going to keep reusing it,
yes.
or are you going to keep
I can't tell you how many times it's been baked. It's been baked and
Truly?
baked and baked and baked.
Okay.
Because that's a solid clay. There's nothing inside it. That's just solid clay.
That's what I thought. Maybe it was underneath it, but
No.
it's not. Okay.
So, first of all, how do you start? Okay, well, you take your very, very long strip of your horrible scrap
Murky
clay,
colour.
and you make it into a shape like this. Now, how do you do that? You take your clay and you literally put one side up, other side down, and just press, and then roll it. Just roll it with your
Rolling
acrylic
pin.
roller.
Oh, right, yeah.
And just feather it out. Just start pulling it and pulling it until it gets to a half moon. And then
Okay.
you end up with your scrap clay, or your lovely black clay, as you're very lucky to have, like this.
Now, this
Okay?
mat, easily available on our website?
Absolutely, you can use this with the jewel enamel. I would
Can
use
you
a
use grease
tile.
paper?
Yes, you could do. I put like this because I could roll it up and bring it with me.
Okay.
But yes, we do sell it on the website. So then you would lift that. That's your scrap.
Peel it off like a sticker.
Peel it off like a sticker. Place it onto, anyone who's good at baking would be good at this. Doesn't matter if it falls to pieces like that has, I'm not bothered about that at all. Place it onto your collar, and like you would with a cake, go round
Yeah.
and just slice it, okay?
And you're using just like a...
Just the blade, just the metal blade. And you slice it all the way around, like that. It's come off a little bit, but you can see the idea. You keep slicing it until, if I take that away, one I made earlier, take all that off, it'll take me a while to do it. Here is the one I made earlier that I've baked, right, a scrap clay.
So do you bake, when you're doing it with the cardboard, can you bake the cardboard in there?
You can with the foil, yeah, of course you can.
Because you've put foil on it, you can bake it.
You can bake it just with the cardboard.
Because I was just thinking...
You can bake paper, you can bake...
Can you?
Of course you can, yeah, because not at a very high temperature. It won't burn. I promise you it won't burn. So now you've got your basic collar. And all you would have to do when you got it out of the oven is just run a knife underneath it, and it will come off really, really easily.
Okay, so I don't need to grease it up or do anything like that?
No, not at all.
How long is it in the oven for? Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, not at all. 15 to 20 minutes on 120.
Okay. Any oven?
Which is the middle. Any oven at all. I use a little camping oven, but it can be anything. So there's your first layer. Now you need 3 layers to make your collar to make it stiff. So that's the inside.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So then you need to put clay on the inside. That's inside the clay. Yes.
Sorry. Can I not just make one big thick one?
No.
And bake it?
No.
For why?
Because every time you bake the clay, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. You can bake clay for hours if you wanted to.
Okay.
If I was baking a collar, I would probably bake it for about 3 hours in total.
Okay.
So you keep baking it and baking it and baking it. So there's my first layer.
Yeah.
Then I would do exactly the same and bake a second layer, not on this, bake a second layer.
Right, back on your template.
Back on your template, take it off. And then you use something which is brilliant called liquid clay, which actually we're getting into stock next week.
Liquid clay!
So this one, this will be coming into stock at the end of March, so you'll be getting it on the website.
Is it like glue?
It is like glue. You can stick baked to baked clay, raw to baked clay. This will, if something breaks, if you make something and an ear falls off your animal or something, it sticks it together.
Perfect.
So then you need to use this like glue and do a little wiggly line all onto one, push it together and then bake it again.
Okay. Yeah.
There you've got your front and your back.
It's nice and solid because you've done it in those...
Exactly. All right. Now that you can put to one side and we get to the nice bit now. We get to the patterns.
Just to let everybody know, I think the glue is actually in stock right now for you.
I think it is, absolutely. So we get to the patterns now. So we start to look at the different designs. I'll just grab my tile. And we can make lots of different things, but you don't need to go too fancy with this at all.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing a spiral, first of all.
This is just a regular ceramic
tile. Just a normal
tile.
ceramic tile. And you can put this straight into the oven because it's been fired. So it's the same. So I'm going to use 3 different colours. Ecru.
Yeah.
Okay, the browny shade which we've got, the natural, and then we're going to go to black. Okay.
There we go.
All right. We move this one underneath because it's rocking a little bit. There we go. So I've put 3 colours on top of each other.
Like a sandwich.
Like a sandwich. And I'm going to slice the edges with my blade very quickly. Could have had it the right way up. That's good, isn't it? And got the blade facing the right way. And I'm going to chamfer the edges. By that I mean I'm going to cut it at an angle. Okay, just cut it at an angle like so. So when I start to roll it, I'm going to start to roll that up now as a spiral.
You're going in or outwards? You're rolling inwards?
In. And the edges will come out, but just push, go right to the other end and do the same thing. So I'm going to chamfer it slightly. So when I roll it, that black edge
flush.
Comes in, okay?
How clever. So that's really important, doing that angle.
Absolutely.
Chamfer, you're calling it.
Chamfer, yes.
Never heard of that word.
Haven't you?
I'm going to use it.
Oh, good. It's your word of the week.
It is.
Right, so this one I'm going to roll it between my hands.
Oh.
And I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to flatten it.
Oh, I love that. Now look what we've got. How wonderful.
And this is how you can do a wood grain as well, because it looks a bit like a wood grain, okay? So I'm going to cut it in half again, stick it on top. Right, so I'm going to put that to one side. All right?
Perfect.
Then I'm going to take another colour, roll it in one, take another colour.
So you've got like a little
roll
sausage
it in
the middle.
I just want to get as many designs as I possibly can to be able to put on top of the collar.
Okay.
So that I'm just going to put to one side. I'll cut it in half so you can see it, but I'm just going to put to one side.
These remind me of sweeties. They're like licorice also.
They are a bit, aren't they? Now we get to the exciting bit, the flakes. So we can take some of the flakes. Don't rub them into the clay because you'll end up just with
If you pat them.
powder. Yeah, just pat them in.
Okay.
All right, a tiny bit.
I do like a gilding flake.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Rather
It's like
partial
gold
to one.
leaf, isn't it?
That's right. And you want some of the copper now as well.
Now the copper's got elements of gold in it as well, hasn't it?
Some of it has, yes. Mine, I didn't have one that's purely copper at home, so excuse me if I've got gold in mine, but gives you an idea. Okay. So, yeah, so you only need a little bit.
And that's all right to bake?
Fine.
The gilding flakes, obviously.
Absolutely, yes. One more thing I'm going to do, I'll put those to one side. One more thing I'm going to do is just make a stack of any colour I happen to have.
And these, but you're actually using all the colours that come with the kit.
I am indeed, yep. And I'm going to slice off the edges again, put this through my pasta roller on number 1.
Okay, so let's just do this nice and slowly so we can have a look.
Okay, so I've gone all the way through.
Okay.
And it's come out in a nice long
And Debbie,
strip.
just to show everybody, you just literally fed it in and wound.
I'll do that with some more clay if you would like me to.
Yes, please.
I'm just going to pop a little bit of clay into the top. You
and
can
you've
push
just
your
put
hand
random
on.
squidges.
Just random ones. And put your hand underneath and it comes out
There we go.
a random sort of design.
But it's all the same.
all the same thickness.
Yeah.
So, with this sheet, I'm going to give you something to do.
Oh no.
Oh yes, cut that in half. And in half again. Now, Linda did this the other day and did it beautifully.
She's much more talented than me, though.
I'm going to roll it up. I want you to twist and twist and twist. You do
Keep
that
twisting.
while I get ready for the next stage.
You're trusting me.
I am.
Oh gosh.
So I'm now going to put through all my scrap clay that we started with, and I'm going to start putting the designs on.
Okay.
Now you will have that lovely black or white clay. Okay, and this is going to be our finished design. You wouldn't think so, would you? But it will be.
I quite like that colour, actually.
Like a khaki sort of colour, isn't it?
Yeah, quite like it.
Right, so really, really simple now. I'm going to take all the designs. Right, you finished doing it now?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm...
No, I just want a nice coil. Now I'm going to cut Jenny's in half. Shall I cut Jenny's design in half?
Cut my coil in half.
There you go. Then you've
I
now
am
got
good
your
at this. I am, after
spirals.
all. That's
okay?
amazing.
So I'm going to cut some of those slices and put onto here.
It's like thumbprints. This is psychedelic.
It is, isn't it? It's lovely.
It's like 70s. Look. I love it. Oh, I love it. And you know, all I did was give it a little twist.
How easy is that?
I've got more talents than I realised.
You have, you
Yeah.
have. So all I'm going to do now is literally fill the space.
Ed just said, no, this doesn't need any...
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Ed. That's nice, isn't it?
Not different with you, apparently. Just
Oh.
me. You did all the...
Well, you know. He's backtracking now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's backtracking. Have a look. He was telling us earlier about how it was to be pregnant, like he knew.
I know. Well, you know, obviously does.
Yeah, he knows everything. Font of knowledge. Let's have a look.
Absolutely. So all I'm doing now is literally taking all of these designs and just squidging them on. And at the moment, they look a real mess.
Do you have
I
to
know.
fill every single gap?
Yeah,
Does
you
it
do.
matter if you've got a few gaps or
Yes.
not?
Well, unless you like. Well, the nice thing is the people that are buying this kit are going to have the lovely black clay underneath. We haven't. We've got scrap, you see.
But you can use scrap if you're already into your
Of course
polymer
you can. Of course you can. And
Now,
sometimes the scrap comes out nicer than the other clay as well, which is really annoying. Now, I'm going to use some of these flakes, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the flake like that.
Just put it in random pieces.
Just put it in random pieces.
Do you ever rip it so that it's more organic? Or
Yeah,
do you
can do.
Yeah. And Debbie, if you've never done polymer clay before, can we get a DVD on the website or by calling the number teaching us how to do polymer clay?
You can indeed, yes. We have a basics polymer
Yeah.
clay.
Okay.
And then we have a projects polymer clay. And we hopefully will be filming another one.
Apparently, yeah, I think we will be soon. And you know what? You do workshops as well. It'd be a good thing to come in and
I do
one
lots
of
of
those.
workshops, yes, here, all sorts of times. So that looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but once you start to press it in,
Oh, so you're using your roller. This is a special roller.
this
It's
is the roller. It
available
comes in
on
the
our
starter.
website.
This comes in the starter kit. So just use your roller and keep pressing and pressing and pressing. And then when you're ready with your design, that will then go with your liquid clay on the top. And then your finished design will go onto the top of that.
Okay.
And then you bake it. And you just make sure that you've got holes on either end, which is this. Which is like that. There is the finished item.
I love it.
And you can see how random that is. It really is exactly like I've just done it. And there's one
It's
of
like
the
a piece of art, Debbie.
it's really. See, there's one of the weaves that Linda did for me the other day on air that I used. And then
Wow.
the Obsidian is on the back. And as long as you've got a little drill, which I think you get in the big toolkit, you can make 2 little holes either end, pop your wire through, pop your Obsidian through, and there is your lovely collar.
Isn't that fab?
So it is a simple thing to do, and it's a good way to use at the end of your canes as well.
It is, isn't it? So we're just filling this up. Now, can you just go through with me again? Once I've filled this up, what do I do?
Okay, once you've filled this up, lift off your clay. Do you want to put some more on, and then we can lift it up, and you can see exactly what we need to do. Okie doke. So even if you put it through the pasta machine, it sort of spreads it out a little bit.
And you're rolling and rolling and rolling.
Rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Now, if I put that onto the clay, it's not going to look brilliant, but at least you'll see what we need to do, if you know what I mean. Now, you need to lift it off very, very carefully so you don't tear it.
How do we do that? Are you going to use that tool?
Use a blade.
What happens if we do tear it, Debbie? Is there anything that you can do?
Yes, you just roll it back together again. It's a very, very kind medium, is polymer clay. Really is.
And
don't
Debbie,
worry.
does it ever dry out?
No, not really. Some of the canes I have, I use that are 5 years old. It depends where you store it. Make sure it's covered. Make sure it's covered because it's the dust that will make it go very, very brittle.
Now, I know that with silver clay, you store it with a baby wipe to stop it losing moisture. Do you have to do anything special with polymer clay?
No, nothing at all. As long as it's covered, if it's wrapped in greaseproof paper or in the proper boxes, similar to our boxes that we have here.
What kind of box? Like a Tupperware box?
It's in the starter kit box. It's slightly opaque, not the very cheap transparent food boxes that you can store in your kitchen.
So those wouldn't do?
Not really. It has to have a number 5 recyclable number on the bottom which says that it's tough enough to take the polymer clay, otherwise it will eat into it.
Okay.
Right, now I've done that really, really rough, but you see how rough that is on the inside? It's a real mess. But the nice thing with polymer clay is if you just push it and manipulate it with your thumb, going over the edge, like so. Okay. And then turn it to the inside, and again, just take off the excess. I mean, this isn't sticking because I'm not pushing it properly, but you see, you have to do it really gradually and work it and work it and work it.
And now, this has been baked underneath, hasn't it? So it's quite flexible,
that will be the 2 layers. This will have the second layer, which will be on the inside. So you'll have 3 layers of clay.
Okay.
So this then needs to go back in the oven and be baked again. And I would probably bake this for a good half an hour.
The longer you bake it, the more solid it will become?
Absolutely. The tougher it will become. But you can see the idea of it now coming. If I just put that like that, you can see the idea
I love it.
Of the collar. Okay, it's a bit scruffy like this, but you can see the idea and how it's done. It is such a simple technique. As I say, it wasn't my idea, it was Irene's, absolutely superb lady who came up with the idea. It can be polished, it can be polished nice and smooth.
How do we do that? How do we polish it?
You can sand it, but be careful not to sand off the gilding flakes.
What do we sand it with?
With the little pads that you get in the starter kit.
Okay.
I don't know if I've got any here actually. But
so if you didn't have the starter kit, Debbie, are these items all available separately on our website?
I'm not too sure about the sanding pads actually, but you can just use wet and dry sandpaper as long as it's a fine grit.
Right, I see.
A really
and it won't
fine
rub
grit.
away the pattern or anything like that?
Not at all. As long as you do it in water, as long as it's submerged in water, because the wet and dry sandpapers will scratch otherwise. But the wet and dry sandpapers that you can buy from any DIY stores, they're okay. About 60 grit, I suppose, is the coarsest, going right down to 400-500.
Fabulous.
So.
Now, can we just have another look at the other things that we can create? And then, if you wouldn't mind, can we just have a little look at exactly how we create one of the other patterns? So this is what you can end up with if you get this wonderful kit. We are talking about creating the collars. Now, it's not just, you're not just restricted, Debbie, are you, to creating these collar style necklaces with the kit? There are lots of different things you could do.
You can do loads with this, absolutely loads, as long as you've got a template, like a can of a drinks can or something. You can put some greaseproof paper around and then make your own bangles, because that's usually the right size to put your hand through, funnily enough. So that's ideal, and make it in the same way. Do at least 3 layers of clay, bake the first one 15 minutes, then 15 minutes again, and then a good half hour. And I think it'd be strong enough to be able to put your hand in and out and not have any problems whatsoever.
You can make those big, thick bangles,
absolutely,
then, can't you? And do you build them up in layers as well, or do you do them all in what you do?
Yeah, definitely do it all in layers. Do it all. Now, you wanted to see how to do that pattern?
Please, yes.
All right. Well, there we need 2 or 3 layers of clay, and I'm going to use some scrap here that I did earlier. That is called a lizard's tail.
It is like that, isn't it?
Yes, a lady called Julie Picarello, who has a fabulous book on the market, invented this.
Picarello.
I'm going to put, you only need about 3 colours. So there we've got the gold, the white and the black.
And these are all the colours that come within your kit. So you've
do.
layered them up like a sandwich. And is it important what... You've got the white in the middle. Is that important?
Well, don't put 2 blacks together, otherwise you won't get the contrast. So put the black, a light and a medium shade. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that through my clay roller, okay, like I did before.
So
on
you
number
just
1.
literally feed it in.
Yeah, on number 1, all the way
rolling.
through. So now all the colours have been pressed together, right? Cut that in half. Put that on top.
So you sandwich it back on top.
All right.
And don't put 2 black ends together, no?
Nope. So I'm just going to cut the excess off.
And again.
Pop the 2 on top.
So you got...
And there you've got a stripe. And that stripe is quite nice to use around other canes, so you get a striped edge. And that can be used just sliced, put onto your collar if you want to.
So you could use those, because you have actually got a few of those.
I have got lots of stripes. There's a lot of canes on there. Yeah, lots of canes on there that I use the ends of. Bits and pieces.
I like that.
And then you fold it up together. You fold it in half. Okay, like that.
So edge to edge, yeah?
Edge to edge. And then Jenny twists it.
You don't need a Jenny in your life to twist it. Any silly blonde will do. No. Any human with half a brain will do.
Lots of twists, that's what we need. Lots of twists.
And sometimes it's sort of splitting there. Is that all right? Do I just manipulate it a bit?
Yeah, it's fine.
Come on,
absolutely.
Let's twist again. Last time I was a bit worried, and I didn't really go for it. No, now I've really gone for it.
That's right. Well, that's what you need to do, and get children to do this, because the excitement when they cut it in half.
Yeah, my kids would like this. They think it was really cool.
I'm just going to push it together a little bit.
You're
just
squidging
to make
my twists.
I am. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
So I'm going to cut this in half.
It looks like a cocoon at the moment.
It does. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, I do love it, isn't it? And do you know what? Every time it's going to come out different. Look.
Yeah. This is, I said this on air the other day actually, this is what they used to do in Spain and Italy and what have you with all the old clays in the houses. They used to get all the old clays that used to make the houses of, and when they used to have a crack come down the wall, they used to twist all the clays together and make a lizard's tail to go down the wall, and that's where the S comes from.
Those little...
Yeah. And they used to make the lizard's tail out of the clay to secure the houses and then put the feet on. That's why when you go abroad you see all the lizards up the wall. Yeah. And that's how it started off, is doing the lizards like that, and now it's just called the lizard's tail, and we use them with coloured clays. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Now I'm going to run through absolutely everything that comes with this fantastic kit for under £50. You have got the big blocks of polymer clay. So you've got the white, the white and the black. In weight-wise, these are £1 each. Thank you, Debbie. Which is quite a lot. You've got £2 in that. That's a lot. Now you've also got the 3 smaller packs in your ecru, your natural, and your 18 karat gold, which has got such an amazing shimmer to it, a real sparkle to it. You've also got your gilding flakes, your copper and your silver gilding flakes. And you've got your clay roller as well, all for £49.95. Not, of course, forgetting the 10mm Obsidian, which is super pretty. It's got this lovely little rainbow hue to it. You've only used, actually, your Obsidian. You put 4 in one
piece.
Just 4,
that's right.
Now, we've only got a minute left, so I'm just going to quickly show you exactly, again, what you can create. Don't forget, Debbie's not just using these solid templates, she's also created her own with cardboard, wrapping foil around to make it oven ready. But you're saying that actually don't panic, because you can, in fact, put the cardboard
Yes, that's how I made this
oven
one
as well, because you're baking at very low temperatures. Any oven will do. You can use a camping oven, you can use
a halogen oven if you want to. You can use a halogen oven, that's not a problem. As long as it's not at too high a heat, between 110 and 130 for a maximum of 30 minutes at a time.
How fantastic. Get yourself dialing for this fabulous kit. 0800 644 655. All the W's.JewelleryMaker.com. Don't forget to book yourself into one of Debbie's incredible workshops, which we do run on a monthly basis. And also, if you want to, grab that tutorial DVD. They're just £4.95. All that's left for us to say is enjoy your polymer clay.